And here we go on a Monday inside Gwynn and Chris here, the Odyssey Palace Studios. Chris Ello, Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt Scraby, all getting set for another week of craziness on 97.3 The Fan. And the scene shifts to Yankee Stadium tonight, Game 3 of the World Series. I bring this up because had the Padres made the World Series, guess where the scene would have been shifting to tonight? Yeah, this would have been our first World Series game. Scraby and I likely would be down at Baja Rick's.
Yeah.
Enjoying a 5-pound seafood burrito.
Yes.
And Tony would be up in the booth getting ready, and the crazy people would be going nuts in the gas lamp, and it would have been. But it didn't, so off we go to New York for Game 3. Obviously, the first two games of the World Series, pretty good. Pretty good. This is why I watched the World Series, Tony. Remember I told you that the one year my team, that year the Angels, got knocked out in a heartbreaking series in the playoff, and I said, that's it. I'm not watching the World Series, and I missed one of the greatest World Series ever, the 86 Classic between the Red Sox and the Mets. I assume that there was a lot of Padre fans who said, there's no way I'm tuning in to see the Dodgers and the Yankees. I hate them both. That's fair, but you did miss one of the most historic home runs in the history of the game in Game 1. So that's the risk you take, I guess.
It is. You've had some pretty. You've had a pretty special World Series moment, like something that will be played for years and years and years and years.
That's right.
In the same way that Kirk Gibson's is played today. So.
Yeah. Did you see that both of them happened at the exact same time of day? Kirk Gibson's home run happened at 8:37 p.m.
I don't know why I feel like it was during the day that he hit.
No, his
was
at
it's
night.
Definitely at night.
And Freddie Freeman's grand slam was also at 8:37 p.m.
In the same spot almost, right?
Pretty close in the right field pavilion, that's for sure. They happened, obviously, 36 years apart, but that was some moment, even if you didn't have a rooting interest.
Definitely remember seeing both live.
Yeah.
This one, seeing Gibson's, and I remember seeing,
You'll always remember this one, too. Yeah, it was, that was honestly, I mean, it's epic, it's iconic, it's all of those things, but probably most importantly, to me, that was the game the Yankees had to have. I mean, they had Garrett Cole, and he was pitching well, and I still think Aaron Boone took him out of that game too early.
I think a lot of people think that.
But, that's for Aaron Boone to deal with. Dodgers rallied to tie once. And then the Yankees had a chance to win again in the 10th inning, and obviously Freddie Freeman took that from them. So I thought the Yankees had to win that game. I don't know if they'll get back in the series. I mean, it seems 2-0 to be very, looking very good for the Dodgers, but I've seen this change.
Seen this in the exact same series reversed.
1981 and also 1978, Tony. The Dodgers did win the first two at home that year, and the Yankees came back and won 4 straight. So the last 2 times these teams have played in the World Series, the team has gone up 2-0, has lost. But history does tell us overall that the team up 2-0 wins about 75-80% of the time. Obviously, tonight's imperative for the Yankees. 3-0 would be almost impossible. It's almost only been done once before by the Red Sox to the Yankees. So, New York's got to find a way. But, I mean, how much trust do you have if you're a Yankee and Clark Schmidt facing this Dodger ball club? I mean, Shohei Ohtani is in the lineup. I don't know that he's 100%, but I don't know that matters. I mean, the Dodgers are, they have found something with Tommy Edman. Obviously, Freddie Freeman swinging it okay. L.A. looks good. But, to think that the Yankees are going to go away, look at the 9th inning in Game 2. They didn't go away then, so I don't expect them to go away now.
Yeah, no, they won't go away. But I do think it's, this is a must win, if you will.
Yeah,
right?
The old must win.
They got to find a way to get going. Aaron Judge has got to find a way to get.
He's cracking.
He's struggling big time.
Yeah,
and I don't know that it's mechanics. It just seems like he's not trusting what his eyes are seeing. Is
he trying too hard? He's trying to pull the ball. Is he not?
He's making the same out every time.
Yeah.
He's out in front of the breaking ball, almost like he's running out of bat. And so that would tell you, at least watching it, it just seems like he's got trust his swing a little
Stay
bit more
back.
and let that ball travel to him.
Let
a
it travel.
little bit
Look at
more.
the home run he hit in Cleveland. The great home run he hit in Cleveland was to right field.
And you know the interesting thing I was thinking about, he didn't have a choice because
No,
Clase,
on that one it was such a fastball. He didn't have a choice. You're right.
Clase is throwing 98.
You're right. Good point.
You got to get it ready. So
yeah,
but
you're
to your
right.
point, he's
gotta-
not seeing that type of velocity except for maybe Kopech late in the game, but and training. But it's just really he has to get going. That's really the bottom line. Everybody else is kind of doing their thing. Stanton's doing his thing. Soto's definitely doing his thing.
Soto is trying to make just a liar out of me. I mean, he's just looking incredible at the plate right now. Almost seems impossible to get him out. I'm trying to hold on to the fact that he hasn't played a perfect right field.
No, he hasn't.
But I don't know that overrides what he's done offensively, because without him offensively, where would the Yankees be?
Yeah.
They wouldn't even have a...
They would have been in that game for sure.
Very much nothing.
Yeah.
So Soto has done his thing. The Yankees are making one change tonight. They're giving up, at least for the night, on Austin Wells behind the plate. They're going to put Jose Trevino in there. Even against a right-handed starter, Trevino will make the start instead of Wells. Trevino did hit that ball pretty well with the bases loaded in Game 2. I mean, he hits that another 10 feet. You've got 2 walk-off grand slams in the same weekend.
That would have been wild.
That would have been something. But he hit that well, but they caught it. And so the Dodgers go up 2-0. We'll talk plenty about the World Series. Of course, the ratings are way up. They're the highest they've been in World Series for 17 years. But I still say tonight is the question mark, because they now go up against even a crappy Monday night football game. I wonder if who's going to win the ratings war tonight.
Didn't we have like a little conversation about
We
bet?
did.
We
did.
Did you take our stuff down on that one, Scrape?
It wasn't a bet. It was a Big Five.
Big
topic,
Five, that's
but
what it
you
was.
guys both said that football's going to win out, which I don't blame you. I really
It's
wish
hard.
this game was in New York area, because it's actually in Pittsburgh, but
the Monday night game.
Oh,
yeah.
I was so confused
I wanted
there
to
for a
see
second. I was like, what?
because over the weekend in LA, there were lots of unhappy people about the USC crowd. There were lots of unhappy people about attendance here, attendance there.
There was a Laker game and a USC game
And a World
concurrent
Series
with that
game.
World Series
Right.
game. Anybody who's ever been anywhere near LA knows that those 3 venues are all within 5 miles of each other. So I can't imagine what that looked like. But I hope that
110 would have
I
been
really
nasty
do. I
work.
hope the baseball can win the ratings thing tonight, because it just. The NFL is so powerful, so dominant, and I just see Roger Goodell sitting there going, you can't even beat our crappy giant Pittsburgh Monday night game. So we'll see what the ratings are after Game 3
That
tonight.
is the smug kind of thing
It
that
is
Roger
smug.
Goodell
He's so
would,
smug.
would do. He
Yeah.
sits back with his brandy, and he's like, can't even beat us with Giants
his
and
brandy.
Steelers.
Can't even beat us. Next time we'll try to play Patriots Titans for you. See if you can beat that game.
Yeah. We're just going to challenge ourselves at this point.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what's coming up here. If you're not into the World Series or haven't been, enjoy some football right here on 97.3 The Fan. 4:30.
Hey,
We'll go to that game.
Real quick, I just want to get off track here. You guys know that my Lakers are 3-0 to start the season.
I was actually on my list. Of
Oh, it
things
was on
to
your
get
list.
to.
I
Sure.
don't know if
sure.
the Lakers are going to make
It was
your
the
list.
bottom
right?
of the list.
No,
but-
it was on the bottom. But, I was even gonna slip in there that the Bulls beat the Bucks this weekend,
I saw
which was
that.
a shocker.
Did
but,
you watch the game at all?
I didn't see that one.
Okay.
No, I have no trust in the Bulls, and I'm not going out of my way to watch them. But they did win one, so that was good. But no, the Lakers are off to a good start. Now they have to go on the road.
Yeah.
So and I
Here
think
we
they
go.
play tonight, right?
Yes, Phoenix.
In Phoenix. So the Lakers, but a good start at home, sure. I mean, and LeBron just. Anybody who thinks that the guy is just, maybe getting to be a step over the hill,
He's not.
all you got to do is watch the game. Was it Saturday night against Sacramento? The fourth quarter, no one could even come near him. I mean, he just completely dominated that game.
He had kind of started slow by his terms, right? I think
Right.
he had like 21 a night, and he had like 25 the next.
Yeah.
And so you start to think, well, maybe this is how it's going to
He's
be
slowing
this year.
down. Yeah, sure.
No. And
Forget
then that
it.
fourth quarter took over. It was
unreal.
like this.
I mean,
dude-
that's against a
this was
good
going to be
team.
40 in December. and
That's
he's
against the
playing like that.
Sacramento team that beat them every game last year.
Yeah, it's
And
funny,
He
uh,
just said, you're not beating us this time this year.
I think what's the point guard for the Kings?
Fox?
Fox.
De'Aaron Fox?
De'Aaron Fox said most 39-year-olds are playing rec basketball right now.
If they're even young enough to do that. I mean, I've seen a lot of 39-year-olds out there huffing huffing and puffing.
That's what I'm saying.
And LeBron is just out there dominating. So, yeah, the Lakers are off to a good start. The NBA season is rolling. So, we got a lot going on out there. The NFL weekend was highlighted by the Hail Mary thrown by the Commanders, Jaden Daniels, yesterday. And, of course, I guess, probably the Washington fans will remember the miracle that was this play. I think the Bears fans are going to remember poor old number 29.
Tyreek Stevens.
Is that his name?
Yes, sir.
I didn't know his name, but poor Tyreek, who ran down the field just so he could vamp and taunt the Commanders fans down in the end zone. And if you've seen the clip, he's not even looking at the field. His back is to the play.
For like 5 seconds.
For 5 seconds,
yes.
The guys are running down the field.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Yes, he did.
So that was an all-time example of that. Right? That was an all-timer.
That is like, it's not very often in life.
Yeah.
Instant karma. It only really legitimately happens in cartoons.
It's
right?
what you want to see happen, but
it never happens.
It never happens.
It never happens.
Like the guy who buzzes past you on the freeway, and you want
Where's
him to,
the cop?
you want him to get a ticket. That never happens. But this guy got paid back.
The karma was so rich
that
he not only refocused, he ends up being the one that actually tips the ball in the air
to the guy for Washington.
The guy for a touchdown.
Yeah. No, the Bears would have been better off if he would have just kept running up into the stands. Because when he returned to the play, noticed that my goodness, they're actually running down the field. You're right, Tony. He got over there just in time to tip it into harm's way. And Washington got the win.
Now, to his credit, he did.
He's owned up to it a little bit.
He did own to it.
But I don't know that you can own up to that. I mean, you have to say it.
You have to.
You have to say it.
Nobody's going to forget about it.
There's no way you can be forgiven for that one.
Have you guys seen the meme floating around? Our guys Thomas and Will, who used to work on the show way back when, they're Chargers fans, and they sent me this meme of after the Hail Mary of Keenan Allen smiling. And it's like he's smiling. They catch him at the wrong time, but on the bottom, it's a guy who's about to be hung. He goes, first time. Because Keenan's been through so many terrible, heartbreaking losses
like
as a Charger.
As a Charger.
He's like on the sideline, like, I don't really care about this.
Yeah, I've seen this movie before. Yeah. Poor Keenan.
You know what? I don't hate Caleb Williams as much as I thought I would.
You shouldn't. He played pretty well in the fourth quarter.
He had like 36 yards into the fourth quarter.
But then
that shows a lot of
guts, man, to be held down like that and then rally your team. I thought it wasn't bad.
But what I was going to say is that I didn't hate seeing him on the other side of that.
Well, it happened to him as well.
And I hate the Bears, and I love Jaden Daniels, so...
Well, the Commanders won that thriller yesterday. We'll recap the entire weekend in the NFL and our good, bad, and ugly a little bit later in the program. So we are underway. We got a big five for you. Again, we're here in a kind of a quick get-together, 2.5 hours from now until 4:30. And we'll let you in on what else is going on here on this Monday in sports. Game 3 of the World Series, of course, a bit later. Monday Night Football right here a little bit later. More Gwynn and Chris coming up now on 97.3 The Fan. Do you want to go out for a great meal?
Gravy. Cover some Juan Soto news according to Scott Boras. We'll get into that in a little bit. But first, the disappointing loss of our Aztecs.
A little heartbreaking, I must say.
It was.
I must say.
I thought that game, the way they looked, I thought they had that game. I really did.
You know, we had Coach Lewis on Friday. Felt good about it. Felt good about our interview.
Felt great about it.
Felt like we said all the right things for him to charge the team up.
This is a you thing.
Right, yes. We got him going. And then they led, what was it, 26-14?
Yeah.
Man, 2 touches in the fourth quarter. And, Washington State has to come back, and they did, give them credit, but all the things that Coach Lewis said about the previous couple of games, they didn't finish.
That's right.
They did everything right. They did not finish. You got to finish. And they needed one more play to be made somewhere by somebody, and it unfortunately didn't happen. I thought the big one was, I don't know if it was early in the last drive, but Washington State had 2nd and maybe 15, and they had the quarterback
and he
sacked,
ran, yeah,
and he got
yes.
out, and he ran for a first down. And they get him down there, then it's 3rd and 25, and it's a whole different story. But just didn't quite finish. It was too bad.
I'll tell you what cost them that game. The incredible amount of penalties that they keep.
Well, they keep getting the
so
penalties.
I went to the game. I wanted to catch an Aztec game in Snapdragon, and
right,
it was
good.
It was a good. It was fun to see. Honestly, thought Washington State was just going to beat them like 49-0 after that first drive, but they hung in there. Danny O'Neal comes back in the game after getting knocked out of the game.
This kid's tough, man.
But the opening kickoff return, penalty.
Yeah.
False start.
Yeah.
In the first drive.
No, they get
and then
a lot
on
of these
defense,
things.
they had 12 men on the field and then another penalty on the same play. It just keeps shooting themselves in the foot so many times.
Yeah, they're good. They're getting good, but they're still not good enough to overcome that stuff.
Right. You need to not have as many of those when you are already trying to.
When you're trying to improve your program, you're trying to build your program up, and you're running into these kinds of things, and a team that, let's be honest, Washington State's probably a little better than they are. So they were 14-point underdogs. So if you're gonna win a game like that, upset a team like that, you're gonna have to not play perfect football,
that's
but
what I'm
much
saying.
better.
I wasn't necessarily referring to the program. I'm talking about for this specific game.
Yeah,
you gotta limit those type of penalties. And that being said, I still like where this team is going.
And that being said, they still almost had the game.
I
right?
still like where this team is at. Man.
I mean, your
really
guy, our guy, we're making the guy our guy. We don't even know him. Jordan Napier. The freshman, they run an end around. He throws a beautiful pass for a touchdown, and he was getting tackled on the play. It was not like it was, wide open, completely fooled them. He just made a really good throw on that.
Yeah. And he made a nice catch for a nice little
he had a
bomb
good game
in the middle
again.
of the field.
And, Cooper scored. Our guy Coop did score 2 touchdowns, but they just didn't finish. They didn't find a way to put the final nail in the coffin. So, look, Washington State's ranked now. They're in the top 25. They're 7-1. This would have been really big for the Aztecs. Confidence and all that.
That's the disappointing part. Not so. I mean, yes, the loss is disappointing, but that's a good team that they look better than for a large portion of that
quarters.
Game.
Yeah, they finished up with 8 penalties for 78, which I must say for them isn't that bad.
For
They've
being
been
in
worse
the
than
stands,
that.
it seemed like they had 8 penalties on the first drive.
I know. Yeah, I felt the same thing the game I went to this year. It was like, oh, come on. I mean, every play you looked up.
And the field is not in great condition.
Somebody mentioned that to
really
me.
bad.
What's the deal with them?
I don't know.
This?
There's so much sand on the field.
They play a lot of soccer there.
There's sand on the field.
So much sand. Everywhere they run, they kick up sand behind them.
They usually are doing that when they're reseeding. That's usually a lot of stuff.
That's what they're trying to do. I know they play a lot of. You
got a lot of traffic on those.
There's a lot of soccer matches. I think they play some lacrosse over there for the school.
Rugby,
whatever they got to play. And I'm wondering if the stadium is up to it. As nice. And this is speaking with not really knowing, but maybe to protect that field, they're going to have to make the difficult decision for some of these minor sports to have to play over on campus somewhere, rather than having the thrill of playing in that stadium. Because you're right. I mean, the football team deserves a little better look. And frankly, this is when recruits, people like this, see the stadium on TV football games, right? I mean, if you're a recruit sitting out there and you're watching San Diego State play football, you might say to yourself, man, that field doesn't look very good. So it's just something for them to think about. Again, I'm not speaking with not total knowledge because I don't know what everybody's schedule is playing at Snapdragon, but I know I drive by there often and the lights are on and it looks like there's a game going on.
Or practice or something like that.
Right.
I put up a picture of the stadium and it got a lot of response because all I said was, this place, they need to figure out how to get this place packed, and because it would be a home field advantage. And when you're looking on TV, I didn't even see any of the TV stuff, but if you're a recruit, you're thinking no one goes to those games. They got to figure out a way to get more people to those games. And the many responses I got, the biggest thing was lower ticket prices, which I totally understand.
Yeah,
and
everybody
parking
wants
fees
that.
And all of that.
But I think Tony's right because we talked about it a little before the show. You just got to win. If they were 7-0 right now, there'd be people in that stadium.
100%.
And again, you can't ask them to be perfect, but they got to win more games. They got to beat Oregon State earlier in the year. They got to get a big win somewhere, and people will pay the money if you're winning.
100%.
And I don't think if you're not winning enough, just lowering the ticket prices, everybody's going to go, "Oh, okay, I'm going to go now."
Absolutely not.
I don't think that'll happen.
Listen,
although it sounds good.
I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I'm just saying that doesn't guarantee people will come out.
Yes, just
the
because
proof, the proof is in Petco Park. I mean, and it hasn't always been that way in San Diego, right? It hasn't always. I mean, unless I'm gonna say this word, unless you were the Chargers back in the day, right? That's the only ticket that sold seemingly always, right?
Yeah, and even then,
and that's what I'm saying. Like even when they were good, people showed up.
Oh, when they were good, it was you couldn't get in. But when they were bad, that's why the old, and I don't want to get too deep into Charger stuff, but the stupid ticket guarantee that they made after the Super Bowl was so short-sighted because they're like, well, we're going to guarantee you a full house, but we don't have to worry about it because it'll always be a full house. Well, they went on, and 5-6 years later, when they weren't very good,
wasn't a full house.
The city was paying a ton of money for the empty seats because there were empty seats.
The point I was trying to make is that Petco Park now, right, after the Padres started winning, people started
Haven't heard
filling it
anybody
up.
complain about the price of tickets at Petco Park the last few years.
Are you being serious?
Well, maybe a few people.
I was gonna say.
All right, let me state this. Let me take two.
I was like, I need to get in your world.
Hang on.
Take two.
Take two. I haven't seen people staying away because of the cost of tickets.
There you go.
Yeah. The complaints are definitely there.
All right.
All of us kind of was like,
I gave it a second shot. I gave it a second shot.
But yeah, Aztecs lose a tough one. Now skip to this Juan Soto deal. Scott Boras doing Scott Boras things, which is trying to get his client as many suitors as possible.
Yeah.
Because that's when he's at his best. When he has a bunch of suitors, this is where he does his magic.
When he's lined up on the pier with his line in the water and there's a bunch of fish right down below him.
He's at his best.
Yeah.
He's at his best. Well, this pertains to the Padres because he made note that Juan Soto wouldn't even be available right now if Peter Seidler, our late owner here in San Diego, was still around.
Not a fan of this at all.
Why?
Of the statement made.
Why?
Do we think it's 100% true?
Here's
it's
the
true.
exact quote from Peter, or not Peter Seidler. Oh, I just closed the page on accident.
From Scott Boras.
Yes.
All elbows and kneecaps.
Here it is. If Padres owner Peter Seidler were still alive, none of this would be happening. Juan would have been with the Padres. He never would have been traded to the Yankees. He'd be a Padre today. Peter and I were knee deep in Juan Soto contract discussions, well advanced. His illness really stopped the process because we knew the organization would be different. He wanted to push it through even though he was ill, is what he told Bob Nightingale.
I don't disagree. I don't not believe the guy. I can't believe he'd just be a liar.
Yeah.
But also, there was the fact of the matter that the Padres did have to get below the luxury tax or they were going to face incredible taxes on their payroll, like millions and millions, tens of millions of dollars if they hadn't got under that. So for Scott Boras to be true, Peter Seidler would have had to agree to in his own mind, would have had to agree to all of that.
I mean, not necessarily.
That's the only thing
there would have just had to be more maneuvering from what we saw.
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, they wouldn't have been able to put together the same team.
That wasn't really the consequence. Though. Right. The question was, could they have been able to do it, or would they have done it? And I think I believe it. I do believe it, but that's not how it ended up rolling. The Padres ended up having to move them, and it put them in the position that they got into this year, which was a really good ball team.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it all turned out as a Padre. I know it's difficult to say right now while Juan Soto is starring on the biggest stage, but for the longest time, I mean, we got great value in return for Soto, and he's gonna go on and make an inordinate amount of money in his next contract.
Ken Rosenthal was talking about this. He said that he thinks he'll be able to beat Ohtani, not from the standpoint of how much, but the AAV. I think because after you do the
average value,
I think after you calculate it, it's like, what is it, like 41 point something on the
Ohtani? Yeah, it's like 41 or 44.
44
something. It's in the 40.
He thinks he'll get over that particular number. Now, how it looks in years and total amount, I think we'll find out.
And I'll just throw this out there because I feel like a lone wolf, but I'm okay. I don't want Juan Soto. I don't want him here.
I think we're missing.
I don't think it worked the best. What's the point?
The point is that Scott Boras is saying something that cannot be confirmed, and it seems like an opportunity for him to. I don't know what he's doing. It doesn't sit right with me that he's bringing up this news when Peter Seidler's not here to confirm that this was the case. Or deny it.
Do you think, all honesty, do you think Peter would confirm it if he was around?
I think we would know because Juan Soto would either be here or he wouldn't be here. But
maybe so. I think this is a silly thing to be upset about. I don't know that it has any relevance other than the fact that he was making a point that we wouldn't even be having these free agent conversations.
The relevance is that this changes the entire landscape of Padres baseball forever. If Juan Soto signs a long-term deal.
Where?
Here. With what Boras is saying. It changes everything.
It doesn't change anything because he's not signing a deal here. It didn't happen.
I know it didn't happen, but I just don't like when someone speaks for someone who is not here to give their side of it. As a Padre fan, aren't you a little
this
perturbed?
Is ridiculous. We're making a lot out of nothing.
Really?
At this point. Yes.
Chris?
I'm not sure. Oh. I mean, I feel like it's something. I feel like it's something because what Scraby's saying is that if Scott Boras, what he said is true, we would know either Soto would be here or he wouldn't, and we wouldn't have to deal with this. Like if he wasn't here, Scott Boras wouldn't come out and say this. But since Peter Seidler's not around and Juan Soto's not here, Scott Boras can say this. Or we don't know whether he's telling the truth.
Okay. I'll give him the credit. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but it's just I don't know why it needed to be said to begin with. I know Tony.
Anyway, all right, let's get to break. Big Five on the other side. More Gwynn and Chris.
Gwynn and Chris on the Fan.
I mean, I must have did everything but throw the remote.
tried to think of something during the entire break, how we could kind of put a bow on the Juan Soto thing, but I don't think there's a bow to be put on it. I'm not a fan of Juan Soto, the player. I don't think Scraby's a fan of the whole Juan Soto, the situation. I don't think Tony is a fan of Juan Soto, the player, and a fan of Juan Soto, the situation. So we will all just have to agree to disagree. And there's nothing wrong with that. Right now, the Yankees have him. There's rumors that the Dodgers are going to go after him. And there are no more rumors that the Padres will ever go after him again. So I think that kind of puts the bottom line.
And that's the bottom line.
That's the bottom line. We're never going to get him again. So we had him. We don't have him anymore. We can either cry or not over spilt milk.
I can't remember the writer. May have been R.J. Anderson that counted the Padres in for the Juan Soto sweepstakes.
This year?
Yes. I'm not saying that that's true.
Okay.
But he did write it, and I do trust him.
No, yeah. I don't.
Tony says, yeah, and Chris says, I
don't trust that. 2:39 is the time. Crisello, Tony Gwynn Jr., Mr. Scraby ahead of Monday Night Football. Giants, Steelers. Doesn't get a whole lot better than that.
Let's ride.
Oh, yeah. Russ Wilson will be in action tonight. Good point.
Let's go, Russ.
Yes, sir. Steelers can go into first place tonight because the Ravens lost to the Browns. Stuff we will all discuss in our good, bad, and ugly a little bit later on. But right now, Scraby's going to take us around the sports world with a big five.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big Five starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
One thing that will always be true is that Steelers fans are very loud. We talk about the Steelers for 5 seconds, and the resident Steelers chat fan, Katrina, says, "Here we go, Steelers."
That's what I like.
Steelers fans are just so loud. I can't handle it.
Don't say that they're...
You know what kind of fans are loud? 49er fans are loud.
No,
and
49er
obnoxious.
fans are annoying first,
yeah,
loud
first.
second.
There you go.
Okay, all right. I'll take it because even though they almost gave that game away last night, they still won.
Thank goodness for that.
Yes.
Number 5.
That was one of those win-wins for me. If like Dallas lost, I would be happy because I know a few Dallas lovers out there.
Oh,
and I could be able to rip them. If the 49ers lost, I'd be able to come in here on a Monday and give it to you. So it was a win-win for me.
I did get nervous. I almost called in sick when I felt like it was going the other way.
The 49ers have some issues, Scrabe. I'm telling you. I don't
well
know
aware
that
of
they're
these
just going to
issues.
roll through the rest of their schedule. I've been convinced about them that they're great, all season. But now it's getting to the point where I'm starting to wonder.
They're going to get some of their defense back. This is not the 49ers hour. This is the Big Five. And it's brought to you by Summit Subaru of El Cajon. See all the 2 ways to save right now at summitsubaru.com.
Number 5.
Now, guys, Jackson Merrill, we buried the lead of this entire show. Jackson Merrill won the MLBPA National League Most Outstanding Rookie Award, which is voted on by other players. And so, before I'm accused of clickbaitery...
Clickbaitery again.
Which I apparently am the king of clickbait now.
You are.
I titled the YouTube today, Jackson Merrill wins his second Rookie of the Year award. So, Chris, with this award being given from the players, am I guilty of clickbaitery?
Yes.
How?
Because
this is the second award.
It's this beautiful thing that nobody's going to remember a year from now, maybe even 6 months from now, unless he wins the Baseball Writers Award. If he wins that award and his name goes into the history books as the Rookie of the Year, then it's all spectacular. If Paul Skeens wins the Baseball Writers Award, no one's going to remember these other 2 awards. That's just how it works. Fair or not, that's how it works. So, yeah, for you to write, Jackson Merrill wins Rookie of the Year, is total clickbait because he hasn't yet won it.
I don't agree.
Would you
with
like
your...
me to add
no,
to that?
I don't agree with your opinion.
Did I not make it perfectly clear what I meant?
He
By the
seemed
way-
a little puzzled by his answer.
By the way, Google. Well, I was puzzled by his answer, and Google Docs will not allow me to spell battery. It keeps changing it to battery, so I was about to read click battery again. Tony, am I guilty of click battery?
You're guilty.
Second award
of clickbaitery. Mainly, it kind of goes with us burying the lead. We buried the lead because it's not a real award. I mean, it's a real award, but it's not the award. Yes, I think Jackson should be proud of this one. His peers picked it, which probably means more to him in some ways than the regular one would. However, your premise and title is clickbaitery on 10.
on 10.
Back-to-back times now you have clickbaited people into clicking. And I will say it's a good job on you because it gets people to click.
I stand up to clickbait.
No, you are a part of the clickbaitery union.
Well, I have, you totally are. But I have clicked on every one of these stories that keeps popping up that says Jackson Merrill wins Rookie of the Year, and I'm like, really? Wait, I don't think they announced it yet. So
well, they got you to click.
You're doing exactly what you've intended, but it is total clickbait.
See, I will say that I am maybe misleading, but
that is clickbait.
But I'm giving the true story. He has won 2 awards for NL Rookie of the Year.
Misleading might as well be the wife of clickbait.
Why don't you just say that the Padres won the series? And when somebody
Well, that's
says, no, they
definitely not
didn't,
true.
you say, oh, yes, they did. They won the Braves series.
That is something
I
I would do.
That's just how
That
much
is
of a
something I
lie.
would do.
That's just how much of a lie you're doing with Jackson Merrill.
Nathan says Scraby is a master clickbaiter.
You
I
are.
don't agree with it at all.
Number 4.
I'm just glad that he put the click in there.
Yes, me too. Friday night was a big night for the sports scene in LA. As much as that sentence makes me want to throw up, it's true, everybody. They had World Series Game 1 happening, a USC football game against Rutgers at the Coliseum, and then an NBA game at the Staples Center with the Lakers. A picture was taken by someone at the USC game and tweeted the photo out of the attendance just prior to kickoff. It was not looking very good, so I'm going to put it onto the YouTube right now, the photo of USC. So Chris, there you go. Tony, there you go. Not many people in the audience. Matt Leinart, he's a USC legend if you didn't know. He quote tweeted the picture and said, "That's sad." So my question for you guys, Tony, is this an indication of where USC is at, or are there valid excuses as to why the stadium was empty?
How about both?
Okay.
They're not necessarily winning at the expectation level that they were supposed to. And I think Matt has to chill on this one, man. This ain't the 2003 USC Trojans.
He would love them to be.
I think everybody who was connected to USC would love that to be.
Yeah.
That is not the case. Not to mention, my guy, there was a Dodger-Yankee World Series literally down the street.
Yeah.
Not on top of that, the Lakers were also in town playing.
Down the street.
Down the street. So I'm just saying, I know SC's a big deal or was a big deal. They've never been a bigger deal than either the Dodgers or the Lakers. And
They're not. No, they're not.
And so if you're playing on the same day as those teams in general, you're going to lose. But if you're playing on the same day as a World Series, you're going to lose.
It's not their fault.
No, it's not.
I blame Fox for this 100% because Fox is the one that sets up the Friday night game of the week, and it just so happened this week was USC, and USC wants the money that goes with that, so they didn't fight to change the date of the game once the World Series was announced, and it's probably too late to do so. If you want to play a game and get a full crowd on the same night as other LA events, you got to play when the Clippers are playing or when the Chargers are playing.
1,000%.
Not the Dodgers or the Lakers.
Apparently, Big Poppy said, "There is a signaler and a truck jackknife. We're never getting out of here."
Wait, what happened?
About the traffic. Big Poppy said that.
Yeah.
There might be a few people still stuck in traffic up there.
Do you remember Carmageddon? Someone brought that up to me the other day when they were like shutting down all the freeways in LA, and they called it Carmageddon because there's gonna be so much traffic.
I don't remember that, thankfully.
Oh, thankfully, he says.
That sounds horrible.
All right. Yesterday during the hold on.
Number 3.
Yesterday during the Saints-Chargers game, Justin Herbert was sacked by Saints defensive tackle Nathan Shepard, but then Shepard grabbed the ankle of Justin Herbert and started twisting. It started to look like the technique called the gator roll, which some in the game are very upset at this and think a fine is not going to be enough. I have the video up on YouTube right now if you would like to see it. And if you are in your car, you can just go back, search YouTube 97.3 The Fan, and then click on the Gwynn and Chris recording. But it does look like a dangerous play. I have to say, it's not the cleanest thing in the world. So, with that said, guys, who's up first here? Chris, do you think a suspension is warranted for this play?
First of all, I think number 75. I think number 75 on the Chargers should be given a Medal of Honor.
For sure.
For racing over and knocking the guy off of his quarterback. That is the kind of thing
that... He kind of belly flopped on him, too.
He crushed the guy and pushed him off the pile. I'm telling you what, that will get you a Rolex from your quarterback down the road, if not today. That was a really good teammate move. Secondly, I thought it was a cheap play. And I really can't believe that the official standing right there didn't throw a flag for that. And I think that maybe a suspension might be too much, but at least a fine that people hear about, so that a defensive lineman in that same position will let go of the guy's leg. It was, Justin Herbert. I'm very surprised he didn't get hurt on that.
Yeah, he was trying to get his center from not getting kicked out of the game, trying to get him off the pile.
His center was ready to crash out.
His center was ready to go.
For sure.
Like there was no thought towards it either.
If Justin Herbert didn't start to try to peel him off, he would have kept going. For sure.
He might have started throwing haymakers.
I think that was the next step. Honestly,
referee might have got hit by a few because he tried to dive in there for a second, which is not a real smart move. But hey.
Tony.
Yes.
Do you think a suspension is warranted for this play?
I agree, Chris. A suspension might be a little much, but a hefty fine should do the trick. And that one that is put out there.
Yeah, publicized.
Because you hear players often talk about not wanting to lose any money due to something that they deem as inappropriate. So make it high enough to where it's it puts all the defensive tackles ends on notice.
All right. Let's move on.
Number 2.
Now, after the 49ers win last night, Nick Bosa crashed the post-game interview on the field, and when he didn't say much. He just ran up to the interview with a Make America Great Again hat, and then he ran off. The issue for people is not really crashing the interview. It's after the game when reporters asked him about it. Here is Nick Bosa after the game being asked by reporters for his thoughts on wearing the hat in the post-game interview.
To be a political statement.
I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I think it's an important time.
That's all he said about it. He did not want to talk about the hat that he wore in the post-game interview. So, Tony, you're up first. If you wear a hat on TV, should you at least address it later?
I think, in all honesty, I think he did address it. I think
by what he said. It's an important time.
It's an important time. Now, I don't think it really needs to be addressed. I think you know where he stands at this point. He wore the hat, right? He wore the Make America Great a hat. Make America Great
hat. Great would be a great. We need to make those knockoffs right now.
But I would have felt differently had reporter asked and he had like an attitude about it, like, how dare you ask me?
Yeah. Right.
But he didn't. He basically gave all he was going to give, and I think that is honestly good enough.
I'm not going to give any more. I'm not going to talk about it either. I think that it's an important time.
I was like, is he doing what Joey Bosa just did?
Do you see this thing over there? It's a 10-foot pole. I'm not going anywhere near that question. Sorry.
I don't know. I will openly say the guy in my team who had a great game, I don't care about him doing it, but you have to be able to answer a question later.
He answered it.
He did. He didn't answer it, though.
He answered it. He didn't give you the answer that maybe you wanted, the juicy one.
It's an easy way out.
He definitely did not. It would be hard to find any fault in what he did by the way he answered that. Now, like I said, if he would have been rude and like acted like, I can't believe you were even asking me this right now in front of, that would be different. But he did. It might not have been the juicy.
We're running out of time in this segment.
Sorry.
I know we were having a great conversation.
No, we're not.
Chris just doesn't want to talk about anything political for some
Chris
reason.
is trying to get up out of
Can't
there.
imagine why.
I was about to say something that I will not say.
Don't do it.
Game 1 of the World Series ended in historic fashion with Freddie Freeman hitting a grand slam, a walk-off grand slam. But during the game, we had a little bit of fan interference, or actually a lot of fan interference. The Dodgers fan reached over the wall after a deep Gleyber Torres ball and did make the catch, but Torres had to stop at second because of the fan interference. Chris, are you okay with the current rule of it being only a double?
Yes, I wish they would have had the rule way back when Jeter hit the ball and Jeffrey Mayer famously leaned over and caught the ball. That should have been a double too.
Yes.
So we're lucky that we have replay and could get the call right.
All right, okay. I don't know what he's
I'll tell you one thing:
about,
if that
sure.
would, if they
You don't
wouldn't-
remember the Oriole game? He hit a ball and the Tony, I think it was Tony Tarasco, lost his mind with that.
Yeah.
And
the right field,
yes,
yeah,
I
the
know,
right
yeah,
field ump
yeah.
was standing right
Standing
there
right
and ruled
there.
it a home run.
Yeah, I do remember this.
But
now.
here's the thing: had they got it wrong and ruled it a home run, that Dodger fan would not be alive today.
Yeah, they had no kidding.
I mean,
No
what
kidding.
would the fans have done to this poor guy?
Tony.
Yeah, you
okay
thought
with this
Chicago
rule?
was bad. Yeah, I'm okay with it. I think it should stay this way for sure.
All right. The guy made a great catch, though. That's not an easy catch.
Whatever.
Leaning over the wall.
Wait till the ball goes over the wall, please. We gotta
All
get the
right.
break.
Daily Gambit when we get back 97.3 The Fan.
Chris Ello, Matt Scraby. Daily Gambit coming your way. Remember, we did these after. Did we do these? When did the World Series start? Friday?
Yeah, we did it before Game 1.
So we did it before Game 1.
Yes,
so we're
we did some picks.
2 games deep into that. We got some picks. Aztecs, Washington State. We know how that figures. We'll get to some of that. But I wanted to get your opinion, Chris, on something I saw over the weekend, Sunday, yesterday to be exact. And I can't ever remember seeing anything like this.
An NFL player doing something like this.
An NFL player,
yeah,
particularly the quarterback.
Yeah,
Anthony Richardson, at some point in that game, looked over to the sideline, tapped his helmet.
Tapped out. I don't even know what tapping the helmet means in a sense of you
Clearly-
never see anybody do it.
Yeah, clear. Well, I've seen wide receivers, running backs, linebackers maybe got clocked a little bit. Tap. I need a breather, or I need a play. They come up. I've
seen it in basketball.
Never
honestly
seen it with a quarterback.
The NFL. I mean, somebody ought to teach Anthony Richardson that he plays for a franchise whose quarterback used to be Johnny Unitas. Now, that was in Baltimore, but it was still the Colts. Johnny Unitas famously once got all of his teeth knocked out in a game, all like 6 or 7 of his front teeth, reached down on the field, pulled some mud, and just shoved his teeth back in and tried to hold him there with mud and went on with the game.
That's ridiculous.
Things are a little different in this day and age.
That's not true, is it?
Oh, yes. Johnny,
he put mud in his mouth to hold his teeth in?
That's all. He just shoved some dirt in there and said, hike, let's go.
See, I don't expect Anthony Richardson to do
Johnny
that.
That's the legend. Look, it's a bad look. I mean, at the very least, right? It's a very bad look. And, I mean, he kind of tried to explain it away after the game like it was no big deal, but I think this is going to follow him for a long time, Tony. That's the thing. Your image is going to take a hit on this. They're always going to be saying stuff about you, and it's going to take you a long time to get people to forget it.
Yeah. The good thing for Anthony is that he is playing in 2024. We're short
We are a
memories.
little more accepting.
We forget and move on faster than anything I can remember. Now, the tough part about him is those guys in that locker room are going to be with him for the rest of the year. And they, on the other hand, will have a lot longer memories than us on the outside.
And probably a lot of them didn't see it, but they all know about it now.
Well, for sure. They probably, for one play, were like, man,
where is he?
What happened? Something must have happened. And then now they're finding out he just asked out because he's tired. Listen, the quarterback is supposed to be like one of the guys, like in terms of leadership and steering the ship. But
I was running around a lot right there.
No, man.
He said
there's a lot of quarterbacks that do that. Lamar Jackson does it.
Lamar runs 100 yards and then gets the next one.
Right, like so, bro. Do
you ever wonder that? By the way, Derrick Henry, I think it was the other game, not yesterday. 81-yard run down the sidelines, gets pushed out of bounds at the 8. Next play, they hand off to him again.
Yes.
Like,
exactly.
give the guy a break.
No,
they don't. They give it right back to him.
100%.
Yeah.
And so, that's kind of the big story going around today. And their head coach, what's the gentleman's name? Shane Steichen,
I believe.
Yeah,
yes.
said that.
Is he trying to he's got to stick up for him, right?
He said, well, he didn't really stick up with him. He let kind of Anthony Richards handle it, but he says they are evaluating the quarterback situation. It says it has nothing necessarily to do with him asking out, but they do have Joe Flacco on that roster who came in and gave them some good reps while Anthony Richardson was out.
Anthony Richardson better be careful. Joe Flacco's honestly better than he is at this point. I thought the other football story yesterday, Tony, was our favorite guy, Sean Payton, running double reverse passes with a 28-7 lead, about 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Carolina said they didn't take too kindly to it. They thought he's trying to run up the score. Sean Payton says, I'm just finishing out the ball game. Where do you stand here? This is the NFL. So in the NFL, maybe you don't have to worry about the other guy's feelings, but I think there's a better way to finish the game than running a double reverse and a flea flicker play. What do you think?
I 100% agree. And J.C. Horn certainly agreed.
Yes, the Carolina guy went up to him after the game.
So he was seen having some words, and here's what he said. He said it wasn't necessarily directed at him. I just felt like, personally, I ain't going to speak for nobody else, They had a fake field goal. And
they ran a fake field goal,
and
right?
a double screen pass in the fourth quarter on 4th down, and they have every right to do that. But I'm allowed to have my opinion on that too. I felt it was disrespectful. So after the game, I was going back and forth with the players, and Coach Payton kind of just got into the middle of it. But it was no banter back and forth between us. It did seem a little. It seemed a little. Over the line.
I think so.
I mean, not only did you have the double reverse, I forgot about the fake field goal as well.
I did too. Yeah, it's the NFL, so you don't owe anybody anything. I get that, but Sean Payton can do a better job. He ought to know this.
And here's what he said. I know. He said, listen, I said it Sunday night. We're trying to finish the game
you're not.
The right way.
You're not, though. You liar.
We're not trying to run up the score on anyone. It's the National Football League.
Wow.
I've been in games with a 28-point lead in the fourth quarter and lost.
How many of those?
So we're trying to play better.
That was his line to the Carolina Panthers. You just play better and don't worry about it. So he doubled down.
Of course he did.
All right. Well, next time somebody gets up, like the Chiefs on the Broncos by 30.
Run it up.
Run it up, please.
Is this the guy who lost like 70 to whatever last year?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he did.
Yes. But I don't
so
recall.
Maybe he has authority in this.
But I don't recall the
just-
Dolphins running any double reverse screens in the fourth quarter.
They
didn't
just
kneel
sucked
on the
that day.
Yeah,
That was
they didn't
them.
kneel on the ball, but they didn't run any fake plays that I recall.
I will say this about
Sean Payton?
no quarterback for the Panthers.
Bryce Young?
Oh, I feel bad for him. And the reason I feel bad for him is because he's already playing terribly, and no one wants him on that team.
I don't think he's playing. I think his team
They're just not good.
They're not good. The offensive line can't protect.
Yeah.
It is just
Andy Dalton was able to throw for 300 yards.
one game. He
Yeah.
did
He
nothing
got out
the
of it
previous
one game,
next
yeah.
3.
But Bryce Young, I'm not trashing Bryce Young. I came here to say I feel bad for him because he just keeps getting worse.
That's how you set up all your statements.
just keeps
I
getting
feel
worse.
bad for him. Or,
I got to
no
tell you
disrespect.
something. I didn't watch the whole game, but I saw plenty of it on Red Zone. He threw a couple of nice long balls that they just dropped.
He looked-
that is
I
true.
remember number 17 in particular going, my bad, like on a 50-yarder. So, Bryce Young, I think he's got some ability. He just doesn't have the chance to show it.
I watched that game. He looked better than he did at any point before he
I
got
think
the
so,
job
too.
taken away
I think
from him.
so, too.
So take that, Scraby.
Take that for data.
Let's go Daily Gambit.
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo!
If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
Just to note, Scraby was getting on us because we got to Daily Gambit late. He's participating in the banter that got us late, too.
Well,
I wanted to say one more thing about Bryce Young. Who said that?
At 9 minutes in, there's no saving time
Who
at
said
9
that?
minutes.
You said that.
There's no saving time at 9 minutes.
I digress. Go ahead.
Daily Gambit's our daily sports betting segment. Please gamble responsibly. First bet we made. What kind of home run would be the first home run? We all said 2-run.
We did?
We were all correct.
Oh, we all got it right.
It was Giancarlo Stanton.
I remember I got it right. I didn't recall you guys getting it right.
You weren't the only one, buddy.
All right.
First RBI. Chris said Soto. Tony said Betts. I said Max Muncy. Sucks.
Edmund.
No, it was
Wasn't
Will
it?
Smith.
Oh, yeah,
Sack
that's right.
fly.
Sack fly, yeah.
Then Yankees Dodgers over under a total of 9 runs in the game. Chris and Tony said under. I said over. It was 6-3, so 9 runs pushed. Garrett Cole or Jack Flaherty, who had more innings pitched? All of us said Cole. Cole had 6. Flaherty had 5 1/3.
Cole
So we
should have
win.
had
Cole won.
more. Yeah, he should have had more.
Otani runs plus hits plus RBIs over 2.5. Over under 2.5. You guys said under. I said over. It was under. He only had 1 hit. Boise State -4 at UNLV. We all chose Boise, and thankfully the Broncos won 29-24, allowing us to win that bet. Washington State at San Diego State, over under 57 points in this one. All of us went under. I think we were all thinking it was going to be much lower, but
yeah, it almost did go
55 points total in this one.
I would wish it would have gone over. The Essex could have kicked a field goal at the end.
Suns at Lakers. Lakers were -1.5 on the spread. Chris chose the Suns. Tony and I chose the Lakers. Lakers 123-116. Who scored more, Damian Lillard or LaMelo Ball on Friday night? Chris and I said LaMelo. Tony said Dame. LaMelo, 34. Dame Lillard, 28. We win that one. Last one, who scored more points in their game, 49ers or Dolphins? Chris and Tony said Dolphins. I said the Niners. Niners scored 30. Dolphins lost and scored 27.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. Totals for the week. Scraby won it.
So
for
this
the
goes
second
back
week
to
in a
last
row.
week, correct?
Yeah, this is last week's winner. Scraby again, 20-15, 2 weeks in a row. Tony, you and I both a little bit under 500.
Just a little bit.
So we'll see. But we both went 5-2 over the weekend. Scraby went 6-1. So good picks.
Thank you.
Let's see how we start this week out. What do you believe tonight? Game 3, Yankees by 1.5. Did they get back in the series? The Dodgers close in on the closeout. Scraby, you're the champ. You go first.
Fake champ.
If the Yankees have any chance in this, they got to win tonight. Yankees.
I know. Yankees. All right, Tony?
Yankees.
Yankees. All right, I'll take the Dodgers just to be different. And it could be a one-run game. And then... and plus, I believe Dodger blue. You guys found that out.
That's what Scraby says.
I've been waiting for you to say that, Chris.
I'm just, I was. They had to bring police to my house after Freddie Freeman's home run the other night. So excited.
Police to your house, huh?
You were celebrating that much?
Yeah, it was a wild scene.
Wow.
It was a wild scene.
I mean, that is a true Dodger fan over there.
Yeah, right. Who pitches longer tonight? Walker Buehler or Clark Schmidt? Innings pitched. And Tony's first on this one.
Walker
Buehler.
Me?
Clark Schmidt's a 6-inning, 3-run guy. But I don't think he'll get 6 tonight. He'll go 5. Buehler. I'm going to say Schmidt anyway.
Schmitty.
Scraby.
I'm going to say Buehler.
Steelers Giants. This is what kind of knockdown drag out thriller this is.
That's right.
The over-under for this game is 36.5 points.
So it's like a 20-17
right
game.
there.
That's a lot for these teams. I'm going to say under because I don't think the Giants are going to score. So the Steelers might win 35-0, but that'll be under. Scraby?
I'm going to say...
The number's 36?
36.5, yes.
The Giants, Danny Dimes actually plays so much better on the road than he does at home. He plays like a different human being at home. I'm going to say they go over.
Over, okay. Tony? 36.5. I mean, he could get that in the first quarter if the guys are
going over.
You're going over?
I'm going over.
Okay. Speaking of Danny Dimes, who has more passing yardage? Danny Dimes or Let's Ride?
Oh, my gosh. That was
Let's ride.
Tony, I know you're going with Russell Wilson here. Scraby?
Danny Dimes. Can't believe I'm going with Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones.
That's just a sick move right there.
That is a sick move.
Yeah, I got to go
Crazy
with Let's Ride there. Phoenix Suns 4.5 over the Lakers, even though the Lakers are 3-0.
Oh!
Showing no respect at all.
They haven't.
Let's see. I
should
think
know
Scraby's first here. Oh, no, you went first. Tony's first. My bad. Tony, Lakers, I'm sure.
Lakers will cover.
Did you say 5.5?
4.5. Phoenix is favored.
Okay.
So Phoenix has to win by 5. I'm going to go Lakers also. Tony, Scraby?
Is LeBron load managing yet?
No, he's not. He wants to play every game, he said, actually.
That's a legitimate
he doesn't
question.
Load
is he
manage?
load managing yet?
They're down 4.5 points on the spread.
He's not a load manager. He's not a load manager. Go back and
Chris,
look.
are we the same?
Go back and look at his games played.
Is he a load manager or what?
LeBron?
Yeah.
He had some injuries last year, but I don't think he
load
takes days off
manager.
when he's healthy.
Not a load manager.
I'm going to go with the Lakers.
Hater.
Because he's not load managing.
Boston's 3-0.
Hate.
The Celtics are 9.5 over Milwaukee. Chris, the Bulls beat Milwaukee.
How's Doc Rivers doing these days?
I'll take Milwaukee just for the hell of it. But Boston just Maybe they won't be making their threes. Scraby?
I'm going to go
9.5 points.
Bucks as well.
Bucks. Okay.
Bucks, baby.
All Bucks.
Not
Wow.
picking the Celtics.
Okay. Bulls in Memphis tonight. 233 points.
Ooh-wee.
That's a lot. Scraby? What do you think?
115,
You need 120 to
117.
115 to beat it.
You know what? I'm not going to be able to go to sleep until I find out the score tonight, okay?
Yeah, I know you won't.
I'm going to go with an over.
Over. Tony?
I'm going over.
Over. Bulls,
Bulls playing that fast pace? I guess so.
well, they scored 255 in their win over Milwaukee.
I guess that answers the question.
Then they came back and scored 95 against OKC, so I hope they go over. And then this one in the NHL. This is a very strange line, I think. Toronto Maple Leafs.
Thank you. Oh, my goodness.
Just for you.
Thank you.
They're at the Winnipeg Jets. Toronto's favored by 1.5. They're on the road. But here's the rub on this. Toronto's record is 4-4-1. Winnipeg is 8-0-0.
Oh.
Winnipeg's getting a goal and a half at home with a perfect record.
Wow.
Tony, what are you going to do here?
Give me Winnipeg.
Stay with Winnipeg. Chris, there's got to be some reason for this. Take Toronto. Winnipeg's due to lose. Scrape?
Jets, Jets.
Very good.
Thank you.
All right. There's your daily gambit. We went like 1 minute over.
1 minute.
And we wouldn't have gone over if you hadn't have brought up the question about Bryce Young.
Your
2.5 minutes.
Your
Take
fault.
the blame
2.5 minutes.
while we
over.
check some traffic.
From the 97.3 The Fan.
3:22 on the clock. Scraby is in his feels.
What?
Yes. A couple things. First of all, Scraby is not coming to work on Wednesday. He's going to go golfing instead.
Why is it that I'm golfing tomorrow
and coming to work?
But also coming to work?
I don't know. That's interesting.
How do you? It's funny how that works.
I'll tell you how this went. The person who is offering me a free round of golf, because I had taken them to a free round of golf earlier on.
Yes.
We tried to get it for the weekend because they're
still waiting for the answer.
They have babysitters and stuff that they need to find now.
Okay.
But, sounds like a long-winded way of not answering.
The golf course that we're playing at, the only time was the middle of the week at 11 a.m. So that's the time we took.
You can go like for a couple hours and then come back and cop on the air.
I'll take the day off. I'm not sure how much pain I'm going to be after the round, so I might be headed to the hospital.
I don't know if you've been paying attention the last couple of weeks, Tony. It's not like he's been booking a ton of guests anyway.
Touche.
That's fair. That's fair. These guys have been doing a lot of the heavy lifting as of late.
The other subject at hand here is the chat. Scraby was. How would you describe your feelings about
I love
something
the
that
chat.
was said?
Something.
Yeah,
overall,
not the chat.
I
Overall.
love the chat.
Overall is great.
But there are some times when people want to get at us, and so Chris said Maple leaves. And
by the way, to appease
you, I know how it's pronounced.
Because every time he had been saying it correctly,
yes,
you were correcting over the top of that.
I'm a slightly annoying person, and I like to,
yes,
and I like to make fun of words. It's one of my favorite things. So when you talk about a player, I say Maple leaves. So Chris was appeasing me, and then Dan comes on the chat and said, actually. Leaf is a proper noun. They're named for a Canadian military unit, so you don't change the F to VES, similar to the way Chiefs keeps the F since it's a title.
One of your great attributes.
That's actually one of your better impressions.
Now, Dan, I don't really think you sound like that, but whenever I see chats like that, I get a little perturbed. Because it's just a fun show that we're doing
As
here.
you listeners can imagine, Scraby is pretty consistently perturbed.
I think what Dan, you are. I think what Dan's trying to get at, and I think it's an important point in his defense, is the fact that young people listen to our show, and we should give them proper grammar because a lot of times young people like to take after the people they hear on the radio. So maybe we should try to be accurate once in a while.
I get it, but I think the kids are smart enough out there to know that I'm joking.
I don't even know when you're joking.
For like since football season has started, since hockey season has started in this case, you have been correcting the whole Maple leaves.
No, I think that's been going for like years now.
Well, maybe Dan just caught it for the first time, and he's like, you know what? This is not accurate.
Dan, I'm just picking on you. Don't worry. Don't worry.
And this is another good attribute of Scraby. After he pops off, he usually comes back and says, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to actually pop off.
Actually. Earlier, I can't remember, Chris said Medal of Honor for the Chargers Center, and we got some pushback on that. I just want to say, we're just trying to have fun here. We're not trying to be very serious about everything.
Not everything.
Not everything.
All right.
You guys will know when we're serious.
I got good news for you, Scrabe. If it's accurate, and we know that the 49ers are big fat liars, so maybe it's not accurate. But according to the Niners and their truth-telling head coach, Kyle Shanahan,
idea where this is going.
Running back.
Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, yes, okay.
Will be back at practice next week, hopefully in preparation for the Niners' next game against Tampa Bay.
Sorry, that was just really excited.
Easy. San Francisco has a bye next week. So they say, Shanahan says, he's back on track, or he's on track. He's had no setbacks. He's going to hit it hard this week while we're gone. And then as long as everything goes good, hopefully we'll get him back in practice next week. Good. I do caution you that all of these comments came after Shanahan said McCaffrey would be ready for the season opener September 9th against the Jets, and then placed him on injured reserve the morning of the game.
Big fat liars, what he's saying.
That's right.
I got nothing. I was trying to turn it around. The Dolphins can't do it.
I just hope that when he comes back that he's healthy. I mean, 2 Achilles, I can see that going all kinds of bad ways. So I just hope he's fully healed. I mean, he's taken the proper time, I would think, to heal. What was it, Achilles tendonitis?
Yeah, I went to Germany.
Got some of that good
Don't know
stuff.
how that helped.
Got some of that good plasma.
All right, so there you go, Scrab. You got a little good news for your 4-4 football team, which is tied for first place, also tied for third place.
Yes, it is.
It's quite the division you got going there in the NFC worst, as it were. All right, more on this weekend in the NFL because we got the good, the bad, and the ugly coming up. I'm excited. I guess we can go to it.
Coming up on Tuesday's show, are we still happy baseball fans, or did
on the clock. If you love Mediterranean food, try Spiro's for authentic Mediterranean cuisine in Coronado or La Jolla. For dining or takeout options, visit spirocuisine.com. We got a GBU coming your way. Let's get to traffic first.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by the House Casino and Resort. Guys, it's turning out to be kind of a busy ride. Solo vehicle accident northbound 805 before Claremont Mesa Boulevard. Emergency crews have got that right lane blocked. Also, car fire northbound side of the 5 before Nobel. It's over the right shoulder, but it looks like it might be touching off a brush fire, so you see a lot of activity around that. That is northbound side of the 5 right before Nobel. Also getting reports of a stalled vehicle on northbound 15 before Arrow Drive. It's at the slow lane block. West on the 8, just before Mission Gorge Road, 2-vehicle accident over to the right shoulder. In the North County, Cordell and Cordell traffic cam shows a 2-car collision on northbound 15 before the 78. There in the center divide. The daily jackpots at Viejas Casino and Resort are on fire. Players have hit huge wins with bets as low as 50 cents. Check out their jackpot winning smiles on the Viejas Facebook page. You want to join them? Who knows? The next jackpot winner could be you, Viejas Casino and Resort. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, here we go. Week 8 of the National Football League. The good, the bad, the ugly. But before we get to the good, the bad, and the ugly, we start this week with the rather amazing, including what happened in Washington, D.C. Now, if you watch the Red Zone like I did, I always do, the Red Zone went off the air right after the Bears took a 15-12 lead with 23 seconds to go in the game. That's what I thought the final score was. But it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Why didn't you just switch over to CBS like Scott Hansen told us to do?
Because I don't watch live, and you know that. You're trying to make fun of me, and it's not going to change how I watch games.
Screaming, you are diabolical, man.
This would be easy.
Play your highlight.
Oh, you didn't call for it yet.
I just did.
Okay.
Steps up, fires, heads towards the end zone. It is.
I hadn't heard that, but it sounded like 9 people yelling at once.
It literally sounded like 4 or 5 guys.
There wasn't
running
one word
around
spoken.
in a circle.
There wasn't one word spoken.
Somehow, more voices than the broadcast has is on that clip.
It sounds like it started as 3 guys.
What a mess.
And it morphed into
the
7.
producer just goes, ah!
I'm pretty sure Dave Marcus was yelling. 18-15, Jaden Daniels to Noah Brown. Previously unheard of Noah Brown. Caught the touchdown to win it. Also in the amazing category, I had to get this in, even though it's a wrong sport.
And the wrong team.
And the wrong team. But you can't recap this weekend without you playing this at least once, Scraby. So get it out of the way.
You did say you bleed Dodger blue, so this is for you, Chris.
All right.
The Yankees 3, the Dodgers 2. The bases are loaded, 2 out, bottom of the 10th inning. The scenario you dream about, Freddie is living. First pitch swinging, high fly ball, hit deep, back, and gone! Freddie Freeman channeling his inner Kirk Gibson. A walk-off home run in Game 1 of the World Series. A walk-off grand slam.
All right, there you go. That was Joe Davis.
No,
that
it
was not Joe.
That was Steven Nelson.
It does sound like him, though.
That was Steven Nelson. That was a radio call right there.
Oh, because I
does
thought
sound
Joe
like Joe
Davis
Davis.
said something about channeling the inner Kirk Gibson as well.
Maybe they both did.
Because there was a story in the paper yesterday that Joe Davis did not sleep after that game. He tossed and turned because he was not sure his call was worthy of that moment.
That sounded like the radio call right
That
there.
was
Maybe
the radio
it was.
call.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me go find the TV call real quick.
Yeah, maybe he said something too. But anyway, it was the first walk-off Grand Slam in history. There's now been 697 World Series games played.
Oh,
that happened. Do you guys know that there's never been a cycle in the World Series?
Makes sense.
There's only been one cycle in the history of the postseason. And if you guess who it is, you would go to the head of any class. Brock Holt.
Yeah. Oh, Boston. I do remember that.
Brock Holt. He's the only player ever to have a cycle in a postseason game.
Here's the TV call.
All right, here's the TV call. Joe Davis.
Cortez delivers. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone! Gibby, meet Freddie. Game 1 of the World Series.
So apparently
that's interesting that they both had.
He said Gibby meet Freddie.
Yeah,
It's
Gibby
a
meet
prerequisite
Freddie.
if you're a Dodgers guy.
I guess
have
you
to
should
mention
know that, right?
Kirk Gibson.
There isn't anybody who saw that who didn't think of the Kirk Gibson
100%,
home run. Though.
100%,
So those guys, I think, both did a good job. Both did a good job. All right, back to football. The good, the bad, and the ugly, and the good. The Detroit Lions. 7 touchdowns in every which way yesterday to pound the Titans. They scored on a kickoff return. They set up another on a punt return. David Montgomery threw for a touchdown, ran for a touchdown. Lions are off to their best start since 1956.
35 cuts left at the 40. There goes Leaf, left sideline, to the 40, to the 30. He's gone, baby. He's gone. 10-5, end zone. Touchdown, Khalif Raymond.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions. I thought the most amazing statistic of this game was the final passing yardage for the Detroit Lions. Did you guys see it?
I didn't.
They scored 52 points, mind you. The Lions passed for 61 yards.
That's it?
That's it. How about that? Jared Goff was 12 for 15, 85 yards, but he was sacked 4 times, so that comes off your passing yardage. Anyway, 61 yards in a game where you scored 52 points. Won't see that very often.
No.
Also,
hey, that team is good, by the way.
Lions?
Detroit is a really good. I know you rolled your eyes in the back of your head, but
I didn't.
The 49. Not you. Sorry, Scraby did. Your 49ers are in trouble, buddy.
Lions look good.
They're in trouble, buddy.
You know, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Tony Gwynn Jr. bringing up the point that the Lions could be on their way to getting Hassan Reddick, the holdout from the Jets, who finally joined the Jets.
Yeah, I thought he was going to... Did he play
But
yesterday?
he hates the Jets.
Yeah,
Everybody hates the Jets.
He took like a small deal to come back, but they still on the trade
Lions
block.
could trade for him and replace Aiden Hutchinson.
I only said that because Dan Campbell was asked if at his presser if he could see anything happen. He said there might be something, and then the reporter came back, said you have something to say, and he said chance it happens, chance something happens. Just kept it at that.
The cannibal. He's gone from being made fun of consistently to now being applauded at every move.
He's a soundbite waiting to happen.
Yeah. Kansas City wins again, 27-20 in Las Vegas. My homeboy, 262 yards, including this touchdown.
Left action, wide open, left side, caught Worthy, left front pylon, touchdown! Kansas City, Xavier Worthy back into the end zone for the 3rd time on a reception, 5th time in his rookie year, and the Chiefs have blown it open by 2 touchdowns.
Mitch Holthuis back with his touchdown Kansas City after we missed it last time. You know what's really good about the Chiefs? We bring it up every week. Their defense, again, 2 goal line stands, 5 sacks.
One of them after a pick that put the Raiders right
threw
there.
it away at the 8-yard line, and they stopped them. So the Chiefs' defense, that's the thing that's really...
I said this before the year. I said this when they made the hire. Antonio Pierce was not the right guy for this job. He's a smart football guy, but he has no experience as a head coach, so he can't stop his team from a spiral. Right?
Well, every coach that gets their first job has no experience as a coach.
But they have at least
so
experience
you can say that
coaching
about everybody.
Going up through the ranks.
He's coached at the NFL level and the college level.
Yeah, but
you don't like him for one reason. You want to tell us what it is again?
I wasn't actually going to bring this up, but you gave me the floor, so I will.
Forgetting about this.
He was charged with animal neglect after he left his dogs to fend for themselves when he went to the Super Bowl one time.
No, that's why you don't like him.
No, I really don't think he's the right
let's keep it in context. The Raiders are 2-6. Finally, in the good category, Atlanta. Kirk Cousins does it to the Buccaneers again. 4 touchdown passes. In the 2 games against Tampa Bay this year, Cousins threw 9 TDs. He doomed Tampa Bay again.
Cousins in the gun. 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Here's Kirk from the pocket. Throws. Mooney caught. Touchdown Atlanta. Darnell Mooney again.
I tell you what.
Give credit to Mooney, but the pass was so in stride.
Yeah.
When Cousins is on, he throws as good a ball as anyone.
I tell you what, I give Kirk Cousins a lot of credit. There was a lot of people scratching their head about the signing and then them drafting the young quarterback, Michael Penix. He seemingly has embraced Atlanta, and Atlanta has seemingly embraced him. He's doing a good job for that team right now.
Yeah, they win it. They not only go up on the Bucs in the standings, but they have a 2-game sweep of the season series. Into the bad category we go. The 49ers are there, but not because of them. It's because of the Cowboys, who once again stub their proverbial toe. They led at halftime, the Cowboys did, and saw the 49ers roll up 21 unanswered points in the third quarter. Dak Prescott, once again, throwing the ball to the wrong team.
Spot this year, 3rd and 4. Prescott moves the pocket, throws on the run, sideline, going up to grab it as he inbounds. Yamador Lenore ruled inbounds, a spectacular interception.
My favorite announcing mistake.
What?
A radio guy asking me a question as if I can see whether or not the guy's in bounds.
Chris's pet peeve.
One of my pet peeves, I don't know.
That was Mike Tirico.
Was he in bounds?
Oh, that's TV.
That's
All right,
TV.
I'll give Tirico a slight nod on that. 30-24, the Niners over the 3-4 Cowboys. The Dolphins fall into the bad category, and they may spend more time there this year. They looked better with Tua back. Had a 27-18 lead in the fourth quarter, but the defense could not hold off Kyler Murray and company.
Oops, sorry.
Snap to Murray, drop straight back in trouble. Flushed out, moving to his right. Now stepping up, keeping the play alive. Lobbing it wide open, back of the end zone is Wilson. He pulls it in for a touchdown.
I got to say, watching that guy play, why do you ever even blitz anybody? The blitzer can be not blocked and still come nowhere near touching Kyler Murray. You might as well leave the guy back in coverage. It's a waste of your time to blitz him.
It's almost like a trap.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like a trap. They're guaranteeing that, okay, we're going to leave this guy unblocked because we know Kyler is going to make a miss.
They're not going to get close to him.
And this is why when you hear Bill Belichick, who, by the way, I enjoy watching do his kind of thing, why he talks about bracketing these quarterbacks, not rushing them, just keeping them in this little pocket. Because the moment you go after those type of quarterbacks, you're asking for
they
a
run
big
away
play.
and they make a play.
Yep.
Almost every play he made yesterday was not a pocket pass. It was all running around, and then somebody would come open. I give him all the credit, but it's just dumb defensive strategy. Also in the bad category, the Ravens fall here. Wasn't expecting this, but Baltimore fell to lowly Cleveland after they opened up a lead in the final minute. The Baltimore defense allowed Cedric Tillman to get behind them to win the game.
The snap to Brissett, handoff, Stevenson runs it left.
Wrong game.
It's actually the next game.
All right.
Browns 5 for 10 on third down. Jameis gun. Foreman to his right. 3 to the left. Jameis to snap. Here's the blitz. Jameis throwing right. Tillman caught it. 10, 5. Tillman, touchdown!
These guys are pretty funny. We hear these calls every Monday. Sounds like the team wins the Super Bowl, don't they? Every time they score a touchdown.
Can before we move on to the next highlight, can we please hear Jameis Winston?
You know what? I was so happy for this guy.
I was too, but his in-game interview, where he quotes Eminem.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
Was fantastic.
Here's Amanda Balionis interviewing him.
It's not often that you get another opportunity like you have just received in the NFL. What does it mean to lead these guys, and what could be the start of what you said is something special moving forward?
Man, it's a white boy from Detroit that I really admire named Eminem. He said, you only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity lasts once in a lifetime. And I know I got to quote, Eminem, he from Detroit, he right up the road, but man, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that the Lord provided me with this opportunity. I'm grateful for my teammates, my coaches, and these amazing fans.
He just said it so matter-of-factly.
Like he's had it in his mind.
You only get one opportunity to blow. The only thing he forgot there was Mom's spaghetti.
He's weak.
He even had to start a different verse to get to Mom's spaghetti. But
was good.
I was happy for him too, man. He's waited his time and he's getting an opportunity and was
he's
good.
been put through hell. I mean, honestly, and you know, the lowest point had to be last week when
that's right. They went to
the other guy got hurt. Watson got hurt, and he wasn't even the backup. They had to bring the other guy in the game. Jameis Winston.
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't the backup, but he got past Baltimore.
Dorian
Nice win.
Thompson-Robinson.
Yeah, 29-24.
27 of 41, 334.
Yeah.
Okay, what does that tell you if you're the Browns ownership? The one game you don't have your billion-dollar guy.
Oh, they're so stupid.
They win.
They are so stupid.
That just proved everything you're doing wrong.
You know what happened is it took an injury that was going to take it out of the owner's hands, basically.
Yeah.
Now the team is actually back in, was it Stefanski? Stefanski's hands.
Yeah.
And Winston gets him a win against one of the better teams in the league.
The owner's like, "Are you sure you can't play with a torn Achilles? Come on."
I kind of need to see where my money's going.
We need it. Get him one of those little knee cart things that people roll around on.
Good job by the Browns. Into the ugly category we go. I got to say the Jets probably are the ugliest story in football now. I don't know who Aaron Rodgers is going to blame this week. We'll have to wait for Pat McAfee to find out. But Jacoby Brissett came off the bench and led the winning drive for the Patriots, who are 1-6. And now the Jets are 2-6. Yikes.
The snap to Brissett, handoff, Stevenson runs it left. Ramondre fights into the end zone. It's a touchdown. Patriots. Little response there. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get into the good months, good weeks of football. We're getting more chatter from the color guy in the middle.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Good response. Good response.
They're getting in a group of things.
Aaron Rodgers, just whatever. I'm kind of glad it's not working for the Jets.
I don't know this for sure, but did they miss some kicks in the game too?
They missed one, and the look on his face was like, I could kill you.
Yes,
basically.
it was.
You know,
I wouldn't be surprised if you put it on the kicker, Chris.
Somewhere Robert Saleh is smiling.
Yes.
It's not his problem anymore. Denver, not ugly, but Carolina is. The Panthers scored first. They scored last. But in between, 28 straight for Denver. And Denver's 5-3, as much fun as we made of Sean Payton. Bryce Young returned, but the Panthers have now lost 22 of their last 25 games.
Floats one to the end zone. He wants Troutman. One-handed catch. Touchdown, Denver. 19-yard strike. Bo Nix.
That was Kellen Winslow-like. I don't know if you guys saw it. Reached up with the one arm at the back end of the end zone, back line. Pulled it in. Beautiful catch.
That was
Troutman.
it was a great catch.
Yes, it was. 28-14 Denver. And the Broncos, like I said, surprising. Finally, in the ugly category, the Chargers. I just put them in there because they're the Chargers. And
go Chargers, go.
Yeah. There's also this. The Chargers led by ugly scores of 3-2, 9-2, and 9-5 in the first half. They finally took control. Justin Herbert, a couple of touchdowns, and J.K. Dobbins got into the end zone.
Dobbins in the backfield. Herbert under center. Hand off to Dobbins. Touchdown! Chargers!
Again.
Oh, it feels good.
What was that?
Oh, gosh, the end of that. That was the...
Fine, but there was no description of the play.
Nothing. That's what I've been trying to tell you guys since I listened to the broadcast on Monday. Remember?
Nothing.
It's more like, Herbert, pressure, incomplete.
You got to give us some description of so our mind can see the play.
You are silly.
Did he not? Does he not?
Dobbins in the backfield. Herbert under center. Hand off to Dobbins. Touchdown!
I'm telling you, it's always the name Herbert.
We have no idea whether he ran around the end or whether he ran up the middle, jumped over the pile.
He's enjoying the game, is what it sounds like. He's not really worried about us listening.
No, and it felt so good. Chargers 26.
Oh, it feels good.
Saints 8.
Gotta keep that.
Shout out to Buddy.
Oh, it feels good.
Oh, it feels good.
That you're keeping for further use.
Yes.
That's the good, the bad, and the ugly from Week 8, which, of course, wraps up tonight with our Monday night game, Giants Steelers.
You bring up a good point about us hate. Well, I know I hate Denver right now.
Yeah,
but they are 5-3.
Yeah, they've had the old last place schedule, but it's working, and they're beating the teams they're supposed to. Now, I don't think they've played KC yet. So
yeah, they haven't.
They'll have some tough ones down the road, but hey, look, Sean Payton is doing his thing. It's hard to.
I would love to see.
Not a fan.
Let's Ride and the Steelers push out the Broncos at the very end. That would be great.
Here's the teams they've beaten. They beat the Bucks, which was a good win on the road. Beat the Jets on the road.
Not so good.
Raiders, Saints, and Panthers.
None of those are good.
Yeah, coming up for the Broncos, Ravens, Chiefs, Falcons.
Now, okay, here. Will the real Denver Broncos please stand up?
Yeah.
Speaking of Eminem,
we'll find out.
Their schedule gets really difficult.
I had one more thing in the good category. The Tampa Bay Bucks creamsicle uniforms yesterday.
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
Don't remember thinking those were that great back when they used to wear them.
No one did.
But now that they bring them back, they look awesome.
It's very similar to the Padres brown uniforms colors now. Like when they were here, nobody really thought they were that good.
Yeah.
Now that they're back, we love them. So,
yeah, good point.
Let's get to break. On the other side, little Chris versus the fans. More Gwynn and Chris.
Welcome back, Gwynn and Chris, 97.3 The Fan. Chris Ello, Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt Scraby. We got about 26 minutes to go, and then we'll turn it on over to the National Football League. Monday Night Football, Giants and the Steel Curtain going head-to-head in Pittsburgh. Game 3 of the World Series is tonight as well. In New York, Luis Arraez just made an appearance on the MLB Network. He was at the desk with the talking heads there, showing off his thumb.
His hard cast.
His hard cast thumb wrapped up after the surgery. Wish the Padres were hosting Game 3 of the World Series tonight, but alas, that was not to be. Dodgers, of course, have a 2-0 series lead. Teams with a 2-0 series lead have won about 75% of the time.
We didn't even talk about Shohei Ohtani.
We did. We mentioned he's in the lineup.
Okay.
I think that's all we said. But he is indeed in the lineup for the Dodgers after the injury scare the other night.
Subluxation. Things Padres fans are very
they don't like that
of.
word too much. Yeah, and you're with a subluxation are going to go out and try to golf on Wednesday, huh?
Yes, it's not a subluxation. I actually had shoulder surgery, but
I know you did.
Yeah, we know that your rehab has been a little subpar at times.
I haven't seen you raise your arm. Can you raise your arm? All right,
that's a little different.
I raised my hand all the day.
When's the last time you golfed?
I actually went out and swung the club over the weekend, and you know what it's going to do? It's going to make my swing better because it's going to slow it down.
Is that what it's
Honestly, it will slow it down, and it will because there's the backswing is not the problem. It's the follow through.
Yeah.
You
know why? Is because you got to slow that shoulder down as it's coming through. That
here's what's going to happen this week, Tony. Just so you're aware, Scraby is taking Wednesday off. He will be calling in to take Thursday and Friday off as well.
I messaged my doctor.
He's going to re-injure this thing.
Yes. I messaged my doctor and I said, hey, it's been 4 months now. Can I play golf? And he said, it may be painful, but you can't damage anything further. So
that's always my favorite answer.
Doesn't mean you're going to be able to lift your arm up Thursday.
Exactly. It just means you can't hurt it any worse.
Yeah, he won't be here Thursday.
Yeah. I'll be here Thursday. I'm willing to bet that if you are here, you're going to be we won't be able to tolerate you.
You know what?
You're going to be complaining about how sore your shoulder is.
And
then you're going to be in a little pissy mood because your shoulder hurts. We've seen this before, right? I think it was like right after surgery. You came in here. You was the first day back. You was a little sore, a little grouchy because your shoulder was hurting.
Very grouchy.
So I'm just saying.
Thursday, you're either not going to be here or you're going to be here taking whining to a whole new level.
How do you guys know? Like, I give players a hard time about not playing. I will post on Thursday.
No,
you haven't posted for 4 months. Stop complaining.
I'm here every day.
You haven't been out on a ball field anywhere.
Brandon says Scraby and Shohei are so much alike, risking their shoulder for the sport they love to play. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you.
Guys are unsimilar in every other way.
Right. That's their only similarity, right?
That is right. All right, we got a chance for you to win a prize here. It's a good one. Pair of tickets to see San Diego State's season opener, basketball opener against UC San Diego. It's coming up on November the 6th. You can get tickets at goaztecs.com. Now, last year, the Aztecs barely beat the Tritons, if I recall.
I remember
that. It was a last-second tip-in by
And I also recall
Jaden
everybody being in
Ledee.
a little bit of panic after.
Right, the Aztecs are not good. Maybe it was that UCSD was pretty good last year.
Yeah.
So could be a good opening game. Should be. November 6th. You'll get tickets if you can win Chris versus the Fan.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
howdy do.
Now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know what you're in for.
Chris versus the Fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, the rules. You have to make it through 3 questions. Each question will get more difficult. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get it wrong and Chris gets it right, you're eliminated. But if Chris gets it wrong, then you move on to the next question or you win. If you're a first-time player, let us know before you get into it. You'll get that question for free today. And Chris versus the Fans is presented by SD Fat Loss. Lose 20 to 30 pounds in just 60 days. Visit sdfatloss.com to schedule your free consultation. And I would like to say hello to someone who won the Aztec game tickets on Saturday night. I met him at the game. Antonio came over and said hello. Probably like, why is Scraby sitting by himself in this stadium? But he came over. He said hi. He was very nice.
Good.
He said he's a big fan of the show, and I wanted to shout you out, Antonio. So
I
thanks
hope
for listening.
Brian Kenny freezes to death. Just want to get that out.
I hope Luis Ariz did not agree to an interview with him.
I think he did. He doesn't know what he says about him when he's in the locker room.
There's no way Brian Kenny likes Luis Ariz because he's a big analytic guy.
What's the weather
He's
like
worthless. Well, Luis is what was the word they used?
Myth.
Oh, he's just a myth.
Yeah, the myth of Luis Ariz.
The idea of Luis is a myth. All right, let's get to our first contestant.
It's only 52 degrees in New York.
We regress.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to. Let's see. Who haven't we gone to in a while? Let's go to Evan in El Cajon.
Hello, Evan. How are you? Happy Monday.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Here we go. First question. Who is the #1 college football team in the country?
That would be the Oregon Ducks.
Quack.
The Ducks is correct. On to question number 2.
Who is the #2 ranked team? No, I'm just kidding.
What manager is the winningest postseason manager of all time?
Ooh.
Joe Torre.
Wow.
I would not have got that. I was going to go with
Terry
Terry Francona. I didn't think of Joe Torre, but that's a good answer because it's correct.
Good answer.
98 still hurts.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Here we go. Question number 3.
Sorry to laugh at your pain.
Have we asked any of these?
No.
Okay. Jacoby Brissett has played for 4 teams in the last 4 years. Name 3 of the 4.
Ooh, doggy.
So New England.
Correct.
Indianapolis.
Maybe.
And
Carolina.
Stay there.
He did not get it. Indianapolis, New England, and I know the Dolphins had him.
Was that your answer?
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
What? He didn't play for Indianapolis?
He did not play for
in
the
the
Colts
last
4
years.
years.
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
Well, you got to listen to the question, dude.
Hey, Evan, good for you.
Either way,
man.
Evan, congratulations, my friend.
Nice job.
Good for you,
Stay
Evan.
right there, Evan.
Patriots would have worked. Commanders would have worked.
Commanders.
Browns would have also
Browns.
worked.
Wow, I don't remember
And
that.
the Dolphins was correct. So,
Dolphins. Okay. Didn't recall the other ones there. Well, did he play a lot for the Commanders and the Browns?
I think he started for the Commanders, and
I
I think he
started
took
for
over for the Browns.
Yeah.
And I don't know what he did with the Dolphins.
Not much.
Staying in the football lane.
Good for you, Evan. Hang on the line, man. Congrats.
Nice work, Evan.
Yeah, good work. First contestant today.
I think we've talked about this often on our show when athletes tweet something and then we get to like parsing it and trying to figure out what is he saying about the team, or when a guy erases all of his pictures, that obviously means something. Well, here's an example of posting something and then it like spiraling in a way maybe you didn't anticipate, and then you having to kind of backpedal. Jordan Addison, wide receiver number 2 for the Minnesota Vikings, posted maybe sometime at the end of last week.
They played Thursday night.
They played Thursday night. So I think it was Friday he might have posted, maybe Saturday. But he posted free 3. Now he wears the number 3.
Free 3.
Free 3.
Okay, free him up. Yeah.
Right. So however you want to see that. Now, mind you, he is playing behind perhaps the best receiver in all of the NFL, in Justin Jefferson, right? So he's asking to be free. And so when you post that and you put nothing out there, guess what happens? You leave it to everybody else's imagination to what you actually meant.
He's caught 14 balls this year so far.
Yeah, and so today he wants to let everybody know that we're making too big of a deal of it.
We are, huh?
People just try to make something out of anything.
What was he trying to say?
I mean, tell us what you were saying,
wanted the
sir.
ball
It
more?
ain't nothing. He said, I think, what did he say? He said, early Saturday morning, Addison posted a photo on social media, which led to the speculations. Addison, however, said Monday that he has used the phrase for at least 4 years, beginning with his time at the University of Pittsburgh, and later posted a screenshot of Instagram posts from the time period to clarify. I think it came up that in 2020 fall camp at Pittsburgh, so that's where that started. People got to do their homework before they start saying stuff.
Real quick, I thought he played at USC.
He transferred to USC his last collegiate season.
Yeah. All right, so he's missed, what did they play, 8 games? According to this, he's only played 5 games.
Yeah, he missed the first 3.
Was hurt, yeah.
He started the season.
He missed 3. He's caught, 3, 3, 3, 3, and 2. So he hasn't had a big game yet.
No.
Maybe he drafted himself in fantasy football. And he's upset.
He caught 70 passes on 108 targets for 911 yards in his rookie season last year.
I think it sounds like he wants. It sounds like he wants the ball more.
Right?
Don't you? I mean, I don't know if you guys watch like I do, but like my fantasy game yesterday, the Packers have that Jaden Reed, who's had a couple of really good games for me this year.
Yeah.
But every time they throw a ball and they pan down the field and it's not your guy,
you're irritated.
You're irritated.
For sure.
But when that happens for 3 quarters in a row, you honestly don't want to play fantasy football ever again.
This is why I haven't watched.
Drives me crazy, and I don't know why it gets me so much.
We didn't watch yesterday because I couldn't.
Yeah.
But I haven't watched the last couple of weeks as it pertains to my fantasy.
It's crazy.
It's just been going terribly.
It hasn't gone good for
terrible.
You. By the way,
this is one of my leagues still.
Wow.
I think I was winless until this past week. I got to win. Yeah.
Well, this is game week on our show.
1-7.
This is game week on our show because Scraby and I face off this coming weekend.
I'm coming off of a 150-plus point performance over the weekend.
Did you get the win, though?
I got the dub.
Oh, he got the dub.
Last week I faced the highest score. This
week
I am
nice
the highest
to hear,
score.
but we got to go to break. So 4:13 on the clock.
Oh yeah,
we got to get to break.
Down.
When we come back, we'll wrap this thing up. Get ready for Monday Night Football.
Success.
More Gwynn and Chris on the other side of traffic.
From the 97.
Great deal on an iPhone 16 Pro. Those are pretty sick. My wife just got one.
Oh, yeah?
What do they do?
They're light. Hey, for as big as
What
they are.
do? Wait, are these heavy?
Once you hold the new one, you realize that yours is heavy.
Okay.
All
right.
What else is on there?
Apple Intelligence.
Yes, the AI.
So I'm not a fan of on either phone.
Yeah,
Now, you know how on the, at least my iPhone, in order to put it on silent, you got to kind of click a button over here or like roll it up.
Yep.
Now you can just, there's like a button on the side, you just hold it and then it goes on silent. That's the only thing I've picked up on.
That's the only thing you've come up with so
been
far?
a feature
No, it's
of
different.
other phones.
Well, I don't know about other phones.
Here's my little clicker thing right
Yeah,
here.
see, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, you don't have to do that anymore.
Here's my clicker thing.
You no
Learn my
longer
Negro.
have to do that.
Did you see? This is to me. This is going to happen more and more, right? Cowboys lose, and some guy who covers the Cowboys posts something on Twitter during the game or X, and it's a photo of Trayvon Diggs, Cowboys linebacker, trying to chase down George Kittle, who's already caught the ball.
Cornerback.
And,
Yes.
Diggs, sorry, he's a cornerback. Kittle catches the ball. Diggs is chasing him. The tweet appears to question Diggs and whether or not he was really giving maximum effort out there.
Of course.
Now, how somebody can possibly tell this by a photo on a tweet is kind of beyond me. And I don't like these kind of cheap shots like this. And Trayvon Diggs didn't like it either. And he confronted the guy after the game. And said,
that's who he confronted.
yeah, he said, that's what you took from that, out of that whole play? You don't know football. You can't do nothing that I can do. You can't go out there and do nothing. Stay in your lane, buddy.
No profanities in there.
No profanity, and Diggs did not. Diggs didn't speak to media after the game. Mike McCarthy said today, we got to do better. We got to stay on the high road, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure you have to stay on the high road.
Listen,
I really don't. I mean, when somebody's going to tweet that, they better be ready to handle a little noise.
That's effort, and again, you better be right, because if the effort is what it should be, any player is going. And I mean, listen, credit to him for being able to confront without going over the line there.
Yeah, no, he didn't. He yelled. He raised his voice. I saw the clip, but I mean, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
And I mean, people tweet this stuff, and I always go back to what John McEnroe said many years ago. But you have a responsibility in the media, because people believe what you say. So you ought to be. What?
I said, at least they used to.
At least they, right. But I think people still do believe it.
For sure.
Even where nowadays, a lot of times it's not true. And that's just, to question somebody's effort, it's one thing if a guy hits a fly ball, and he's jogging and the ball lands and you don't end up on second base. Then you can tweet that and say, hey, he didn't give great effort there. But in a football play, how do we know? I don't know. That's... I'm on Trayvon Diggs' side there. And I don't usually support the Diggs family.
Typically, especially nowadays, there's so much noise in my house that I a lot of times will have the TV sound down, just kind of in silence, but watching. So I didn't actually hear what was said. I saw him, and then I saw some of the kind of headlines that he kind of went off.
Yeah, that's what it was. And then the guy had a really lousy comeback, too. He's like, well, if you want to answer the question, I mean, I'd be happy for you to answer the question. And
what?
Yeah, I don't even know where that was coming from.
That's called being called out.
I want to know how old this reporter is, because I'm learning that the younger reporters are doing this and the older reporters are staying in their lane. I think there's a happy medium somewhere.
I don't even
don't know how old the guy was, but he looked young.
I don't like the idea of. I mean, I understood what Diggs was saying, but that is the thing that he was questioning. I think he was out of pocket for, because
effort.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, if Diggs was running hard, he didn't catch him. He just didn't catch him. It's not that he wasn't trying. And to question that's the one thing most athletes get upset about.
They don't care for that if they're actually trying to hustle, and you're saying they're not.
Yeah. So there's that.
Salvador Perez won the Roberto Clemente Baseball award today.
It's a big deal. That is
prestigious honor.
The Good Human Being Award in Major League Baseball.
Not bad to win that.
Padres had 2 candidates, Jason Adam and Manny Machado. Jason Adam from
because
Toronto.
he was the Toronto rep, a Tampa Bay rep.
Yeah, so
2 guys. Well,
did I say
good
Toronto?
to be
I meant Tampa.
good to be a rep even in the the finalist
absolutely.
for that award is a big deal.
There's only 30 of those guys being what is it?
Recognized.
Considered, yeah.
I have 1 minute worth of complaint if you guys can handle it.
You don't have a Chronicles next, so go ahead.
I was watching a Sunday Night Football game last night, guys, and they showed what happened with Dak Prescott recently. He proposed to his longtime girlfriend, so they are now engaged. But
shout out to Dak, congratulations.
He did it. He did it on the green of a golf course, and I was wondering how angry Chris would be if someone was holding up his golf game doing a proposal.
I didn't know you were going to go that route.
Because the first thing I said last night when I saw it, I'd be like, that's great and everything, but if I'm behind you, I want to hit in. Like, what are we doing here? Come on, let's keep it moving.
Yeah, especially if he used his electric cart to bring the ring over.
Yes, thank you, Chris, and his electric cart.
Can't be waiting for that.
I like the way you turned the vehicle at the last second. I thought for sure you were going someplace else.
Because the putter was on the ground, the balls are still on the green, like they still need to putt out like Dak. There's people playing behind you,
Did they finish
bro.
the hole? I wonder after she.
That's a lot of excitement. I don't know.
It might have been the end of the golf round at that point.
No kidding. Pick up your ball and go home.
All right, Monday Night Football follows Giants Steelers. We'll be back for 4 hours tomorrow. Have a good day.
We ready? Coming up on the Tuesday show, we wrap up Game 3 of the World Series, wrap up Week 8 in the NFL, look ahead to a little NBA hoops as well.